Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. So in today's video, I want to give you guys an update on what is happening with Bitcoin. Even though it's still not moving, Bitcoin is still holding up very well at $29,000. And you guys can clearly see for the past, few weeks, almost to 2 months now. I think it's been 2 months since we have seen Bitcoin pretty much not really moving. And I told you guys this is actually the most important time right now. Okay, like literally, this is the most important time to start at least DCAing into Bitcoin. Stack as much Bitcoin as you possibly can, right? If you're already, DCAing into Bitcoin, I think right now at this very moment, right, since we have seen Bitcoin at $29,000 and of course $30,000 and of course $31,000, Bitcoin has in fact been hovering in between these price levels, right? I think, this is literally the most important time right now to, start DCAing or stack more Bitcoin. Okay. And I've been telling guys this many times throughout my previous videos. Okay. Even though, yes, it may seem boring right now for Bitcoin because it's not really moving, but it gives us time to accumulate more Bitcoin at this level. And accumulating Bitcoin at this level, let's go to the weekly time frame. You guys can clearly see it's actually perfect, right? Because in my opinion, this is the perfect time to do that because we are still in the buy zone. We are still in the accumulation phase. Okay, we really are. And you guys can clearly see Bitcoin is nowhere near reaching back up to its previous all-time highs. You know what I mean? It's nowhere near that just yet, right? So it still gives us time to buy Bitcoin at a cheap price, in my opinion, right? It really, really does. So yes, Bitcoin is still currently holding at $29,000, 29,600. And today the market is slightly moving. Nothing too crazy though for the past 24 hours. Okay, you guys can clearly see overall the market overall today is up slightly, but you guys can clearly see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins are not moving at all. And we know Shiba Inu, okay, for the past like week, okay, even for the past like few weeks, it's been pumping. You guys can clearly see for the past 30 days for Shiba Inu, it's up 40%. And for the past 2 months, 60 days, it's up 54%. You know what I mean? So Shiba Inu has in fact been pumping. I might actually make a separate video talking about Shiba Inu and why it was in fact pumping and why this pump could potentially continue on, right, for SHIB. But you guys can clearly see Shiba Inu today is actually down 6% for the past 24 hours. Okay. And it's understandable, you know what I mean? Shiba Inu has in fact been pumping a lot, right, throughout the past few weeks. So it's understandable why it's down, 6% today. But that's that. Okay. But other altcoins are not really moving. You guys can clearly see that. So again, it's just one of those boring days in the market. Okay. It really, really is. So there is in fact a fair few charts that I want to show you guys, and there is a specific topic, and you guys can already read by the title what I want to talk about for today's video. If you guys have in fact been watching my most previous videos, even videos for the past like few weeks and of course few months, I've been predicting that this year alone in 2023 I do in fact see a 50k Bitcoin, meaning I do in fact see Bitcoin reaching at least 50k or slightly over 50k towards the end of 2023. Okay, and there is in fact a fair few charts indicating that that could actually potentially happen for Bitcoin. And maybe you guys can let me know in the comments down below your personal thoughts on where you guys see Bitcoin reaching, towards the end of this year in 2023. But I want to show you guys a fair few things that are pretty interesting. Okay, and I know this is not too clear, but this is pretty much a list of the best performing financial assets in the world for the last decade, for the last like 10 years, right? And you guys can clearly see Bitcoin is in the list, right? Bitcoin is up there. You guys can clearly see that right there. We also have, NASDAQ, other bonds and stocks. We even have cash and gold. So, for the past decade, 10 years, these are in fact the best performing financial assets. Okay. And Bitcoin is in the list. Okay. So I thought that was, pretty interesting, right? So that's that. It's good to see, Bitcoin in the list, for sure. So that's that, guys. Okay. And obviously Bitcoin is obviously, for the past decade, in my opinion, is literally the best performing asset out of all of them, right? Like, name another asset that has performed way better than Bitcoin for the last like 10 years. 10 years ago, back in 2013, Bitcoin was worth like $100. You know what I mean? I believe in 2013, that was actually the first year we actually saw Bitcoin reach $100. And now 10 years later, right, Bitcoin is worth tens and thousands of dollars. Right now it's at 29K. And at one point, yes, Bitcoin was at 69K, almost at 70K. So just think about that, right? Bitcoin is literally the best performing asset, in my opinion, like in general. Okay, so that's just my opinion, right? So I thought that was pretty interesting. And read this guy. This is actually true, right? 92% of all the Bitcoin that will ever exist has been mined, right? Only 8% left. Okay, so just think about that, guys. Okay, with all the Bitcoins being mined and people are in fact now, we are in fact seeing Bitcoin being held, right? Not a lot of people out there that are in fact, buying Bitcoin. They're not really selling it no more. They're simply just holding it, right? A lot of people out there are in fact doing that, right? They're simply buying Bitcoin and they're simply not selling it. They're holding it for long term. Okay, and remember, guys, Bitcoin does in fact have a limited supply of 21 million Bitcoins. And remember, there's not enough Bitcoins to go around for everyone. There's only 21 million Bitcoins, okay? And there's over 8 billion people that live on Earth. So do the math. It's very, very simple. Not enough coins for every single person. And this is why, guys, I've been telling you guys, it's very, very important, okay, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure you guys can agree with me, right, to accumulate and own at least one full Bitcoin, because in the future, long term, of course, this one Bitcoin could potentially change your life forever, right? You could potentially become a millionaire. You could potentially have some type of wealth and, of course, freedom, right? We all want some type of freedom in life. And I really do believe simply one Bitcoin, this is obviously not financial advice, but one Bitcoin could potentially get you all that, right? Of course, long term, because Bitcoin is going to be worth not just a million, but millions of dollars in the future, right? I've been talking about that a fair few bit, right, for the past few days. So that's that. It's pretty interesting, okay? And guys, okay, the fourth halving, okay, for Bitcoin is in fact coming. 82%, okay, away from the halving. The progress is happening, guys. Okay, the halving is in fact about to happen. It's literally less than a year from now. Time is ticking, guys. So we know every single time we have the halving, that is where we tend to see Bitcoin pump the most. So it still gives us time to buy Bitcoin at this level, right, of pretty much $29,000 below 30K. So this is a great time, in my opinion, to buy as much Bitcoin as you possibly can, because in the next few months it's going to pump, right? In my opinion, we're going to see Bitcoin reach 32, 35, 40, and of course $50,000, towards the end of that year, right? And end of this year. So the halving is about to happen, guys. Okay, we are 82% away from pretty much reaching it, right? So sometime next year, 2024, around maybe April, that is when the halving is going to happen. And remember, guys, once we actually see the halving happen, Bitcoin is not going to pump straight away. You got to give it time, right? Just like in previous halving events, right? When the halving happened, we didn't see Bitcoin pump straight away. So that's why I believe, towards the end of 2024, that's when we're going to see Bitcoin really pump. And of course, the year 2025. Okay. So that's that. Some exciting times for sure. Now let's get to some of these price targets that we could potentially see for Bitcoin, okay, in the next few months. So this chart is indicating that, yes, okay, once Bitcoin does in fact break this level of pretty much $31,000, then it reaches 32, 33, it will continue on to the upside. We're going to have another leg up to $42,000. And I think, yes, that is very possible. And $60,000. Is that possible? Potentially, right? Potentially something big is loading up for Bitcoin. Okay, it really, really is. And now check out this chart as well, right? 2015, what we saw 1st of October, okay, had a little pump, 31st of December at the end of the year, okay, of 2015, it did in fact reach $500, I believe, a few $100. Now, 2023, this year, we could potentially see the same thing, right? So 1st of October, we're going to see a pump. Okay, that's literally a few months away. And then, of course, the last day for this year, 31st of December, we could potentially see it at 50K. So the target here is around $50,000. And I told you guys many times that yeah, I do in fact see Bitcoin reaching at least 50K at the end of this year in 2023. So it could potentially happen, guys. Okay, and this chart just indicates that yeah, we could potentially see Bitcoin reach 50K or just over 50K, right? And this chart here is actually indicating that Bitcoin can actually reach these targets, okay, of $37,000, $46,000, and of course even $70,000, reaching a new high. Like, let me know in the comments down below, guys, if you guys think that's even possible for Bitcoin for us to see Bitcoin reach back up to its previous all-time highs, you know, maybe sometime the end of this year in 2023 or early of 2024. Like, in my opinion, guys, if we don't see Bitcoin reach at least 50K towards the end of this year in 2023, you know, around maybe December or even November, then it could potentially happen early of next year in 2024, right? If we don't see it happen this year, right? But I'm gonna stick with it. You know, I really do see Bitcoin reaching at least 50K in 2023. So yeah, these targets that are upcoming could potentially happen for Bitcoin. So be excited for that, guys. Okay. But yeah, if we're talking longer terms, okay, number cycle number 5 through 50K for Bitcoin could potentially happen. Now, if you guys have in fact been watching my videos, I've been mentioning this many times that yeah, we could potentially see Bitcoin reach 200K, 250K, you know, 300K, right? This chart has indicated that it's going to reach over 350K, right? Everyone has their own different predictions. I'm gonna stick with 200K to 250 to 300, right? Maybe it could potentially reach over 300K. We will see, because a fair few people are in fact mentioning that we could actually potentially see that happen for Bitcoin, right? And you guys are probably wondering why I don't talk about Bitcoin reaching, you know, 100K or 150K, because, you know, that's easily gonna happen for Bitcoin. You know, we're gonna easily see Bitcoin reach 100K, 120 to 150, 180. You know, that's those price targets I think are easily gonna happen for Bitcoin. So that's why I'm stepping it up to like 200 to 250 to 300, right? Because I think that's a higher price and unrealistic price for Bitcoin to reach. Because remember, guys, when Bitcoin, for example, was back in 2020, we go here on CMC, all-time chart. Okay, when Bitcoin was at like $6,000, you know, $8,000, no one knew, right? In the next bull market, Bitcoin will pump all the way up to like $60,000, and then it'll pump all the way up to like $69,000. You know what I mean? Like, no one knew that was going to happen for Bitcoin, right? So you got to think of unrealistic prices for Bitcoin in the next, you know, bull market. So that's why I'm sticking with 200 to 250 to 300K for Bitcoin, right? Because I think that is a very possibility for Bitcoin to reach in the next bull market. Okay, so that's just my opinion. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. We will see where Bitcoin's gonna be heading, you know, towards the end of this year in 2023. Like I said, you guys let me know in the comments down below, what are your personal thoughts? Where do you guys see Bitcoin reaching for 2023? I'm gonna stick with 50K. Okay, if it doesn't reach 50K, you know, sometime this year in 2023, it's gonna potentially reach it early next year in 2024, right? So maybe in January or February, but it's gonna happen, guys. Okay, it's gonna happen. But that being said, guys, more videos will in fact be coming away, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Have a best day, guys.